TINUBU dumped CDS MUSA and his colleague for not being able to perform to wipe out the Fulani terrorists and those bandits that is disturbing and that is buying people everywhere in the country. That is the main reason why TINUBU dumped them, then to replace them by bringing out other people. So in this video, you are going to hear everything from this Biafran activist who explain the whole thing, how everything is going. So don't skip any part of it and don't go anywhere, because this video contains a lot of information and a lot of things to explain to you. If you can see very well, you will see that the only thing CDS MUSA used to talk about and some of his colleagues, it is only the issue of Simon EKPA and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the Biafran and the ESN issue. So, but the main thing they need to be going to, they don't used to go it. They don't used to do it. What they used to do, it is to come to Southeast with soldier everywhere. But the Zamfara, Borno, KB and other parts of the country, both the Kwara, where you will see a Fulani men with their AK-47 moving around, find what to do and to destroy people. So they will not hold them. But for those that is agitating for their freedom, that say enough is enough, it is only those that they know. So as it is now, the way TINUBU dumped them is just like a surprise to them, because they don't believe that such kind of a thing will happen. They don't believe so. So as you're about to watch, try to like, subscribe, and I would like to hear your comment down below. Just make sure you share the video to go around so that everybody to see what is really going on in Nigeria. And thank you for watching.
Okay, finally there's a breaking news, and CDS MUSA has been sacked by the president Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and this has caused shocking wave amongst the Fulanis, amongst Nigeria as a nation. They said, was Simon EKPA, mostly in the southeast now, they are saying, is EKPA not the problem of Nigeria? That when EKPA was in Finland fighting for his people, fighting against the Fulani terrorists, MUSA was all over the social media, going to TV stations saying that Simon EKPA and IPOB were the problem of Nigeria, while leaving the northern part where the Boko Haram and the Fulani Janja with her. So with what is going on now, do you think Simon EKPA has been vindicated, and do you think that CDS MUSA will regret him coming out to say that IPOB and EKPA were the one constituting nuisance in the southeast?
That's a very open question and a direct statement. I wish that Christopher Musa is actually here to now respond to some of these questions, because we are watching on national TV on daily basis. He don't even talk about Nigerian security or repeated them Boko Haram that has infiltrated the Nigerian army. Somewhere Musa's case, Christopher Musa's issue or problem was always how to get Simon EKPA tackled, or how to go about anything surrounding Simon EKPA on daily basis, on national media, on international media, anywhere. It's just about of course, Simon EKPA. Simon EKPA, gave him that very particular hit he deserved, because that was what it was all about as at that time. But what surprises a lot of Nigerians, where there is several people are talking about the development today, how Bola Ahmed Tinubu, were able to lay his hand on Christopher Musa and put him to one corner, finally, in the entire life, and from what we are hearing very clearly, there is a statement coming from the Biafran government already concerning this matter, where it was being reported that Simon EKPA has already, alerted relevant forces, agencies around the world. But let me just tell you this very clearly. The fact still remains is that, there is an established, applications the report that has been submitted in different agencies around the world, talking about the ICC, talking about the UN agencies, talking about Organization of Human Rights and all that, lawyers, AU and other, concerning the Christopher MUSA, calculated plan, in launching repentant Boko Haram in the entire eastern part of the country, creating insecurity in the Biafran land, then labeling the IPOB and Samonekpa, as a factor of a security challenge that is going on there. But in every evidence we are seeing today, like the one that is coming from the United States of America Congress, where it's been labeled that there's a calculated plan that's been going on, to carry out a genocide against the Christians, communities within Nigeria. But then, if you come to reality of it, who are the Christians in Nigeria? So Christopher MUSA actually have a lot of questions to answer, and you can see how it becomes very clear now that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has finally turned his back on Christopher MUSA after several reports, petitions came on his table that this man was the one they were actually pointing his fingers on, that we are behind a lot of allegations, has been reported, including the issue of, middle belt killings, Christian killings in the country, and why he's trying to, paint the picture that Samonekpa and the IPOB are actually, behind it. Now, the Biafra government has taken it upon itself, as we are hearing at this moment now, as spy agencies, security agencies from both local and international are already tracking, Christopher MUSA, because now he has lost immunity. Now they will tell him what Nigeria looks like, and then he will experience that definitely Nigeria is going to, happen to him. Then what kind of service were you able to render when you are in that position? Now it has become clear that any moment from now, if the story is true, I can tell you that the US and UN agencies and AU, and the International Criminal Court, has dispatched, a squad already. They have already started that it can be picked without the federal government intervening for him to come and answer questions in the International Criminal Court over allegations of repentant Boko Haram invasions of communities. There are several videos to prove that. And the funniest thing is that this Christopher MUSA, for one, always come out, to paint a particular picture that it was Samonekpa that was behind it. And Samonekpa has already reacted through his, media agencies around the world, have elected the world leaders and the relevant international agencies who are, already has those applications right there on the table, waiting for a particular time like this, to launch attack. He's not going to hide whether he's going to run away, but I can tell you, they know his movement any moment from now. He has been discharged from Abuja, and I'm telling you, Christopher MUSA risk being arrested by ICC, courtesy of, a lot of people does not believe that, in as much as the public appearance of Samonekpa is restricted, Samonekpa is still very active in so many ways, and I can tell you, he might be behind the recent move, for ICC to finally, pick Christopher MUSA from where he is to come and face ICC currently now. And those reports now is one of the reasons why Bola Ahmed Tinubu actually looked at, that these people are already giving him bad image, especially, with US senators coming out on daily basis, to defend the activities, and why the Nigerian government looked the other way. Christopher MUSA was not able to perform his duties, to that extent of checkmating, how genocide. Or if you look at the meaning of genocide, what is genocide? You can go to the dictionary and find out, the meaning of genocide. Genocide means intentional. It's not circumstantial. Genocide means intentional, prepared, planned, attack, of, ethnic nationalities, cleansing politically and otherwise, to exterminate them, intentionally. That's what the meaning of genocide. And there's every proof that Samonekpa is talking about. And this is one of the reasons why we see so many Igbo, youths who are already planning to join the Nigerian army, even as it stands now, have rejected it front and back, because of the fear, of being, used, to get for the enemies to feast on. That's why they are saying they are not going to done until it is become very clearly the direction where this issue of killing is heading to. Bola Tinubu might not, his hands might not be tied, but I can tell you, having traveled wide, there's so many informations that has been given to him at this point now that led to this, a total sack of service chiefs, that are now ex-service chiefs. They are now ex-service chiefs. So this is the best time to go in and pick him, and then he faced international criminal court and is going to answer questions bordering on the issue of security challenges within the Nigerian political space.
Okay, we saw Daniel Bwala, Tinubu's aide, coming out recently to say that the IPOB are the one responsible for the United States of America putting Nigeria on a control of particular concern currently. And do you think that with now CDS Musa being sacked, and we know that you have accused the IPOB of of kidnapping, of terrorism and whatsoever, just like you said now, the ICC and the United States of America, do you think that he can be arrested?
Yes, let me tell you,
for the cleansing of Christian in the Middle East, just like
yes, of course, very definitely, and it is time. It's not based on immunity anymore, and it's time for him to answer questions based on that. And anybody, in fact, I look at Daniel Bwala as a man who is a serial liar and an unfortunate image maker for Nigeria. And of course, he tried to bandage Nigeria very well. Bandage Nigeria to an extent that we can still sense some level of leakage of blood and lies in his statement. Courtesy of what the world leaders have already laid down and begin to find out. One thing we need to understand about what Bwala was saying in the radio or in the TV stations is that clearly that there are independent researchers, there are independent analysts, there are independent fact-finding agencies that is not connected to the government. These are basically purely human rights organizations. So they are not linked to any government. So they carry out their independent findings, and they have totally in front and back, indicted Nigeria, compromising the security challenges in order to carry out, a certain mission where people are still believing that this is purely a Fulani thing, and Christopher Musa is in that line. Let me give you an example of what I mean, that Christopher Musa should also face ICC this time around and know how it feels, to answer those questions. One, we are still experiencing killing, even outside, EKPAs, and being out from the public appearance currently now. And secondly, there is a massive evidence, that has indicted Nigeria on the issue that has to do with genocide and other. So if my people are being killed and I have opportunity to alert the world, it is my responsibility to use my agency or any form of whatever to call for solidarity and protection. As simple as that. And if anybody from Nigeria, any part of Nigeria, feel otherwise, from Middle Belt, where people are being, disallowed for no reason, I can run to anywhere to seek help for world intervention, solidarity. So I don't see anything wrong with that. So you cannot come out and pinpoint a particular person and say, okay, it was these people that alerted the United States of America. Oga can Nigeria Christian Association of Nigeria have come out and dealt with Matthew Kuka and the rest of them who are labeling because of maybe they have been paid or whatever. I don't want to know. But this is a Matthew Kuka that we used to know before, that stands for the masses of Nigeria. What is actually going on for 60 decades now? 6 decades now. We have been experiencing this kind of killing, and Nigerian government seem to not be doing enough to stop those challenges. It is something that has become reality. It is something that people have come to acknowledge, that Nigeria cannot continue like this. So if the Nigerian government cannot be able to do it, there's nothing wrong with any organization or any individual running to anywhere where he can seek help, for protection, or even alert the world for intervention. That is what I'm saying. And I can give you a reference to talking about T.Y. Danjuma. You know, it was reported in his hometown, somewhere in Taraba, if I can remember. I think it should be Taraba or something. You know, and he also went to the United States of America, you know, and tendered a petition over the ethnic cleansing that's happening in the Middle Belt. And to an extent that he even called. I can tell you many DSS have said Nigeria should go and defend them. The governor of Niger State have said Nigeria to go. So what does that tell you? It tells you, you know, that the likes of these leaders, TINUBU has actually put to a corner this time around, are going to face international criminal courts.
Yeah, but a lot of people have linked this sack to you know, the coup that was, you know, alerted by the media last week. They said, you know, probably most of the people or most of the names that were, you know, listed was, you know, but although the media didn't bring, up to now we've not gotten the names of these people that were planning this coup, but I think the majority of the name was allegedly were Fulanis. Do you not think this might be one of the reasons why TINUBU is saying no, CDS Musa, he can't be trusted and he has to go?
The plan that the North are sensing that TINUBU must not go in 2027, you know, might trigger speculation that there's a grand plan, you know, to use military force against his regime. You know, yes, that triggered what we are hearing today. And for that moment, you know, TINUBU need to sit down very well and know that, you know, the Fulanis are not too comfortable, especially the Northerners are not too comfortable with his government. And for that reason, now he will try to look inward and see how he's going to protect himself at the end of the day, you know, and it might be another sweeping reason, you know, for the total sack, you know, of service, all the service chiefs currently now, and they should be you know, skilled so that you will be able to have a clearer picture, you know, how to deal with the issue of insecurity, especially coming from has been seen coming from the northern part of the country, targeting, issuing threats to states in southern part of the Nigeria, that, you know, they are ready and there's going to carry out a certain invasion or and all that. And when they are talking about this, they are also, you know, shifting near the seat of power, you know, seeing how they can. So TINUBU need to dismantle anything that has to do has to do with a Fulani structure in the military. Now do it now, you know, totally, you know. Then let's let people begin to have a clearer understanding that you are not involved, you are also fighting insecurity in that regard, because we can see that the image of this country, when anytime Bola Ahmed Tinubu jets out, you know, for one conference or the other, you know, the way people perceive him, the way people perceive Nigeria, you know, as a country of concern, you know, being a country of concern, you know, it can deprive you, you know, of a certain privileges in terms of engaging your country in international discourse for dividends of whatever back to home, you know, foreign investment and all that. So that was what led to the sweeping, you know, and I'm not talking about petitions now, and that are already in the presidency concerning the activities of these men, especially the issue of bunkering and all that. So the military, you know, need to be purged totally. The Fulanis in the military who are currently converting Fulani militia, Boko Haram herdsmen into the military system. You know, what are they coming to the military system to do? You know, they can carry out any form of uprising within the military that will lead to change of government. And of course, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you know, acted in that regard too. If we want to look at it from that, you know, perspective. And also, it is within his powers as the president of Nigeria, Federal Republic of Nigeria, to, you know, look inwards and say, okay, I think it is time for these people to go. They've not actually given me, you know, what I actually, you know, want. But no matter how you see it, you know, removing these people is also now going to be a form of, you know, a security threat, you know, because they will see themselves as being, you know, removed from a position where they are always greased in terms of, you know, the legacy of the ledgers of the office, the spies of the office. Their pockets are always being lined up and all that, and they may decide to work against Bola Ahmed Tinubu's, you know, return to power 2027, and of course, even eventually, you know, create more insecurity. So the only thing that is remaining in is to what leaders to look at the report that has already been there before and make sure that they are all apprehended. You know, the Canadian government have also restricted a travel visa for some of these people. Some of them has already been banned. So the best thing for them now, is to step in. They will go and face the issue of what happened and how it happened. Just like what we are seeing happening today in the court between Mazin Namdekano, Malami, and Brutai. They have questions to answer, and they will feel that the world is not documenting this thing that is taking place in Nigeria on daily basis. I'll tell you, it is becoming very clear that any moment from now, and if it is not now, Simon Ekpa have reason and is ready to take up, especially that Christopher Musa, and let him appear before the International Criminal Court and prove a certain point how people are being disallowed in Nigeria, and it's being blamed on IPOB and Simon Ekpa.
That is it, my people. That is it. You have already said everything. Well, I would like to hear your comments down below. What do you think about this whole thing that is happening? The issue of removing CDS Musa and most of the top ranking in Nigeria. Comment, like, and share the video to go around.